Okay, sorry about that. I forgot to put on the sound. All right, this is Andy Agodayev here, and I'm currently tracking Hurricane Sally. It's about to make a landfall right along the coast near the Florida-Alabama border. In fact, right along the border, because according to the aircraft reconnaissance data, they're finding winds of high-end category 1 strength right now. And you have a well-defined eye here, and they're finding category 2 winds aloft. They were finding 100 knot winds aloft. So let's combine, let's go to 90 knots. That is category 2 winds. So the winds were about 100 knots. That is about, wow, category 3 winds, just a little bit aloft. But just to be clear, winds were actually at 100 knots, not 110. So keep in mind, the winds were not at 110 knots, they were at 100. So let's say 104 knots, okay? That's category high end cat 3. So let's say about 105 knots, give or take. So let's see, this is 100 knots, right about here in the middle. But the winds here were around 80 knots. So let's go to Weather Underground / Hurricane, see what they're saying. They're saying, yeah, Tropical Storm Teddy's definitely on the verge of becoming a hurricane. Vicky's going to be weakening soon. I mean, Vicky was supposed to become a tropical storm by now. I mean, a depression by now, but looks like Vicky's holding on a little longer than expected. Anyway. So it looks like landfall is going to occur just west of Pensacola, Florida, very likely right along the border of Alabama and Mississippi. And then from there, it could go off the coast and possibly re-strengthen. In fact, it will be this system that will likely drag Teddy northbound. In fact, let's look at the models right now. The European doesn't come in for another hour. So it's too early to look at the Euro. So let's look at the NavGem, basically. Well, let's look at the icon. The icon shows the storm. This run of the icon has the storm going out to sea, which is good news. But here's what is so confusing here. Okay, first of all, is a secondary storm forming. Okay, so here you have tropical storm. And then you have the storm going due north, which doesn't make sense to me. Okay, you have a high pressure system north, right? Let's go to upper dynamics, right? So you have a high pressure system here. You have a very strong high. There is no way this is going to happen. I mean, yeah. Okay. So let's go back. So you have a very strong high pressure system to the north. Very strong high, 1,035 high. So you're having a very strong blocking high to the north. Generally, what you would expect is the storm would probably go west. I mean, this doesn't make sense. I don't see this breaking into two different areas of high pressure. I just basically don't see that happening. I mean, this is definitely odd, if you ask me. This is definitely something that most people would not expect. This goes against general knowledge. When you have a high, you basically don't get a storm going right into the high. Like, okay, again, the high pressure system breaking into two, that's something that's just weird. It's like, it's just not normal. Let's look at the European ensembles, the GEPS, the CMC ensembles. Keep in mind this is from earlier today. So you having a strong blocking high to the north, and again showing a bit of the breaking part, but showing a further west track, which is pretty likely. Boom, see? 1019 millibar high. What I would think would happen is the storm would go further west and then get tracked north. So that's something that does not make sense to me. And why would the storm be going north? I mean, yes, you have a weakness here, but by the time the storm is going north, this storm is out of here. So you're getting a blocking high. So what would happen is, you see how the storm is moving very far east and northeastward, and then suddenly just drop south? Something like that could happen. Let's look at this Canadian. Very weird, like very unusual and very weird what the Canadian is doing. In fact, almost all the models I've been looking at, except for the Euro. Ironically, the Euro, I think, is the more accurate of the solutions. I mean, look, it's showing a powerful hurricane going right into southern Canada. I mean, look at this, going right into Labrador, basically. I mean, look. Let's look at the now, basically. All right. I mean, you have a cold front coming in, right? You do have sort of a cold front. But again, sort of. You have this little frontal system here, right? But it's not a very strong front, and then you already have a northeast flow as you have this very strong high building in. So what the models are suggesting is very, very unusual. Okay, not good. I have a bit of a temperature. Ugh. All right, just check my temperature. It's 99.1, and I do have a bit of a cold. So, I mean, I don't feel terrible. It's just, a little, feel a little queasy. So let's look at this model again. Let's look at the satellite, right? So that's definitely not the eye of the storm. That's just some dry air trying to work in. So the system isn't the healthiest. Look at this. Wow. Looks like most of the smoke is between 1.5 and 3 kilometers, so about 10,000 feet up. Looks like about 1.5 kilometers up. So that looks like the worst of the smoke is right around 3.5 kilometers, which is about so it looks like between 60 and 100 micrograms per meter cubed. Wednesday forecast is for sunny skies. In reality, we'll see more haze and smoke, this time about 12,000 feet above our heads. It'll be warmer with highs in mid 70s. That's good. Some of the smoke is even going up to 7 kilometers up from about 1 to 6. That's a lot of smoke. You just know Teddy Bears has been in the draft since they saw the list of hurricane names. Oh my god. Oh. The impacts of this plume of smoke will be limited in New York City. Air quality impacts will be marginal. The main impact will be on temperature, where the smoke particles could keep temperatures a few degrees cooler. These smoke particles, it's kind of like a cloud. Western wildfire smoke has made it to New York City. Wow, that's crazy. This is New York City right now. The smoke from the fires out west is in our skies. Wow. I mean, this is not the first time smoke has reached New York City from wildfires, but in this quantity, yes, this is the first time. I mean, I've seen it a couple times, but not to this extent and not for this long. And look what Lee Goldberg said. High and dry this afternoon. No deep blue sky. West Coast wildfire smoke has reached New York City. Huh. I've seen the western wildfire smoke moving across the country on satellite in amazement, but seeing it in my New Jersey town blows my mind. You can look directly at the orange glowing sun past 2 hours. Let's see if there's anything volcanic going on right now. Nothing much. Okay. Let's look. Let's see if there's any earthquakes near Vesuvius. Of course there is. There's been about several earthquakes. Relatively small though. Thankfully they've all been relatively small. Let's go only magnitude 2 plus. Okay, they've all been in the 2s, which is good. 2.2, 2.3, 2.3, 2.0, 2.0. Okay, let's look back in all of 2019 and show. Okay. Magnitude 2 plus. And 2.5 and a 2.0. Okay, let's go back to all of 2018. So now we're looking at Vesuvius. So you see that is that outline is basically what you would call is the soma, basically. 2.0 plus, 2.3, 2.1. Let's see, about 1, 2. It's not unheard of, basically. So the strongest quake was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about 7 quakes. But that was, let's go all of 2017. 2 plus. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go right now to this year so far. So far this year, we've had a total of, okay, this year has been pretty active in terms of earthquakes. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2.4, 2.2. 2.3, 2.2, 2.2, 2.1. Okay, let's go back to 2012 maybe, or 2010. All of 2010. All of 2011. Okay, I can't find anything for that year. Let's go all of 2.0 plus. We had one that was 2.1. All of 2013. Okay, quite a bit of little tiny quakes. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of 2014. Okay. All of 2017. Okay. Nothing crazy. All right, good. So let's look now at Sally again. So let's look now at how in the world. So let's look now at in the world. So let's look now at that is odd. Sally again. You had one that was 2.1. Holy crap. All of 2013. Okay, quite a bit of little tiny quakes. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of 2014. All of 2017. Okay, nothing crazy. All right, good.